Hi, Bo here from High Tech Investment, and in this particular video here, we're gonna go through a way on how you can find 8 copy links that can create basically $10,000 average per month. That means that you can lie on the beach like this little dog here and just enjoy the profits and the fruits of the copy link service. Yes, we're gonna talk about the Expert Forex copy link service today. And we're also going to talk about the profit retriever because we have found 8 copy links that we think you could really benefit from and definitely worth having a look. So in recent times here, we have been going over our profits in the last year. We have been going over the profits in the last month. We just released this particular video here for the first quarter of 2023, showing our entire portfolio of profit retriever robots have made a profit of $69,000 or more than 30%. So you can obviously watch that video here also to see exactly where we are coming from and how this has developed over time. We have traded the profit retriever robot now for more than a year, and it is certainly going in the right direction. But obviously we're always interested in see if we can squeeze a bit more out of it, and obviously also try and get more steady profit over time. Now, things like this is not really secret. We are very good, we believe, at sharing the set file guides and the winning strategies. And we're not only doing this so other people can actually try and trade it and be profitable. We are also doing this to give a bit of insight for the ones that want to copy our particular links in here, to show them exactly how we develop these signals, how we go about it, so that they have some kind of confidence in the things that we're doing. Obviously, again, this is the Forex market, so it doesn't always necessarily work out here. So you can have losses. And again, this is not investment advice. This is not trading advice. This is simply just going through our details of how we do things and what we have found also here. Very nice little strategy, very easy to find some good signals. We're going to go through all of it today, and you can even download some of the Excels that are in here also. We're going to have a look at the Expert Forex website itself, where you can find all these signals, and then they have a particular section in here also that we had an interest in, and that is where we are coming back to this particular video we are doing today. Because it had, within the link to success form itself, it had the floating profit and loss under $1,000 or 10%, account age bigger than 90 days, monthly average bigger than 10%, worst 8-week drawdown less than $1,000, and gains in the last 8 weeks is basically more than $1,000 or 10%, and the last one, 8 weekly return on drawdown, basically more than 150%. Now, this particular list was developed now quite a few weeks ago, and it seems to have disappeared just as we are going out with this particular video here. We think it was an excellent one to have in there. Yes, there wasn't too many signals out of the 80 or 90 that would normally be on the Expert Forex page, but this would certainly especially engage people that doesn't know much about trading to get some safe signals in here. And obviously we are actually also represented in that particular one. I'm going to show you all of that very shortly. And this is the one that we think that is the best way to start up if you want to have new copy links. So let's just jump to the Expert Forex page and see exactly all the different information that you are getting when you want to trade these new copy links. When you arrive at the Expert Forex website, it looks like this. And obviously here you can find a lot of details about different types of robots. But what we are interested in here is basically the account link copy service that are in here. There's still a 14-day trial version that you can go into. And then you click link to success, that particular link here. Now that will take you over to this particular page. And there's a lot more information and details exactly what all this does and how you can trade it. Most of the ones you have to trade the accounts with up to $10,000, especially if it's the profit retriever that we're going to go through here today. But there's all other ways of basically get started with just $100, which is absolutely great for the newbie traders that doesn't want to put too much money ahead of them. And some of the details you have in here, you'll see the top 20 accounts at the moment. best monthly average gains over this particular time. Nice to know, but definitely this is not how we measure our accounts and how we like to see things. You have other links also here, or details, exactly average monthly account gains since 1st of April. Again, several 100%. They are a bit misleading, so you need to understand exactly what you're looking at here. Most popular link accounts, again, how many has basically linked up to individual accounts doesn't necessarily mean that they are the best. It is still for you to go in and figure out, but there's obviously plenty of help within the platform itself with sortable Excel sheets. And the first one you will see down here is the top traded accounts you can link to. This particular case, you can see that all these are in here. It will provide you with both the profits, the account gains, monthly gains and average gains, and a whole lot of other things. And we have the numbers out here where we can see it goes all the way down to, I think we're up in about 92 right now. Let's see. Yeah, 92 links as we have it here at the moment. So quite a few. And if we continue to run here, we can see this is the one that we normally like a bit more, the risk analysis information. Best equity gains last week, 1st of April. Again, these can be a bit misleading. You have some of the links, you even have quite a few of our links in here. We know that one of the links, yes, it has gained in equity quite a bit, but that was because one of them were in the drawdown. Doesn't necessarily mean that it has produced a lot of money that particular week. That's why I'm saying again, you have to look closer at each individual signal, not just at the graph itself here. Best gains in the last 8 weeks. Now we're getting to something here, but obviously it's not enough. There might be other things in there, such as drawdowns. You have to see the development of the graphs, things like this. Now also in here you have top accounts. Now this is the risk analysis information. So this is closer to what we used to have with Expert Forex. As we said, that particular Excel has disappeared now, which is a bit of a shame. But then they have been replaced with a couple of blue markings instead. So light blue here now is the lower risk ones. You can see we have some of the ones in here with the C. We have quite a few of them here. And then you can go and obviously also have a look at, you can see link 12 here, but again, worst drawdown ever, quite high, 8,000. The other one here is 14 and again over 10. So quite a lot of heavy drawdowns, but obviously they're also making a lot more profit. Those are some of the things that you definitely have to take into consideration before you link up to any particular account, especially also if they trade indexes, gold, things like this. And there's a lot more details and information through the Expert Forex site. You can see here best 8-week gains on drawdown. So this is really what we are looking for. There is 7 links in here and 3 of them, the lowest ones is ours. So again, we are normally not in the top because we are more focused on to have a good average percentage every single month than trying to squeeze too much out of it and get good profits, but then overall heavy drawdowns that could basically end some of the accounts. But every trader has different ways of looking at it, different ways of trading, what they think is good and bad. And that's, of course, also why there is so many different signals along the way. More help, as you can see here, through Expert Forex. But we're going to go through a different Excel here today, as I just mentioned before. So let's jump over and have a look at that one. So here we have the Excel list that we downloaded from the Expert Forex homepage, and we downloaded that just before it actually disappeared. So, but we can still have it here, as you can see. So top account, risk analysis information, last update 1st of April. We actually took it off on Monday morning because we were preparing for this particular video here. And what we saw is a couple of things. So let's just have a look at the accounts over here. So what you see, all the links on the side, we have 18 accounts in here overall. And if we counted them up, we actually noticed that, and we highlighted those in yellow in this particular time here. We have 8 in here. So that means that out of the 18 signals, we actually have more than 44% within that. And then you just saw the total signals that are within the Expert Forex copy link trading service. There's actually 92 links in here. And that means of those, we have 22 signals that we have provided so far. And that would mean about 24% of everything you see within the Expert Forex copy link service should be our links. So clearly we are overrepresented in that particular Excel that you see here by almost double. And that actually surprised us quite a bit, but most probably we believe it's the way that we are setting up the signals. Again, you saw the criteria earlier. So in the video where I described the 6 criteria in order to basically end up on this particular list here. And all 18 here is currently doing this. Next week, it might be other ones. Other ones might come back in again and other ones might go out. But let's have a look at the individual links. So what I have done here is I've highlighted them up. Basically, it's best week in last 8. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they have done that every single week. And you can see, well, one of our links is on top here, 2,400 for 1 week. And it goes all the way down to where we're also closing off with our link at the bottom, 466. And then you would think, okay, that is actually not very good. But as it says, you have to go in and you have to look at the individual signals in a bit more depth. Now, so what we have done here is we are looking back. So about 3 months, similar to what you saw the video we did here also for the portfolio, where we are looking 3 months back. We are looking at the profit we did for Q1, quarter 1 of 2023. And basically, we don't really want to look any further back because the market is changing all the time. It changed again here now that we had all the Americans or a few of the American banks and then the Swiss bank. All this obviously creates a bit of turmoil in the market and everything changes again. Currencies are trading, other ones are going sideways. So we prefer not to go any further back than this. And we are trying basically also to mimic what we had for Q1. So what we've done is you click the individual links here again, the blue one, and it takes you straight to FXBlue links. It will tell you what that account has done, and we're going to do that afterwards, so you can see that these numbers are true. But January, it made $1,292. February, $150, and then in March, $1,709. And then we do a total up of $3,000 for that particular time. We also put a percentage in here just to show you again, and this is up against the initial account size of $10,000 that we run all these on. And when we have a look at it, we then fill in all the different details, and you can see that even though that particular one was on top, you already have one further down here actually producing better. So again here it has 2,400 on that particular one for the entire month, February, and so over 10%, total 4,700 or 47% in here. You continue to go down and you can see that you have one that actually produces just a bit less than the 10%, but then you mix it up in the other month, and overall again we're getting up to 39%. We have another link, 99C and 54 here, both extremely good, 46%, 50% here. Both of them are producing more than 10% per month. And then we have a little gap until we see our next links down here. Again, still over 10% average a month, 31%, 31% on this particular one here too. And then a link 100C is down here. Again, is doing extremely well, 1,500, 1,200, 1,100, and 40% at the end of the day. When we look at the individual months, you can see here January, 11,000 or 13.85%. February was just below the 10,000 mark, 9,763 and 12.20%. Overall, when we take it into the account for the 8 accounts here, and then March 10,890 and 13.61%. Overall, basically made up $31,733 if you would have traded these particular signals from 1st of January until April. So, and overall, again, percentage, if we take it in, means that on average, every single month, these signals would have produced $10,578 or 13.22%, which is quite astonishing. So, because these are the most safe results that we actually have. And this is also the type of trading that we are basically aiming at. Obviously, we are not getting all of them right. As you can see, we have 8 signals in here compared to the 22 we have in total. And that means obviously about 25% overall of our signals only made that list because, yes, the profit retriever can be extremely difficult to basically manage on the drawdown side. And these particular also criteria, the 6 criteria here, is extremely difficult to maintain over long periods of time. But we managed to do that, and it shows you that if you link up with signals like this, there's a very good chance that you can get similar results. Obviously, these are now live results. This is not just back testing, but it is actually live results. This is actually what they did, and we're going to go and have a look at the FXBlue just to confirm these details. Now, the first link we actually get to here is link 107C, and that was actually the one that was in top. This is certainly not something that looks very nice, but I'll explain a bit more about it as we go through the individual links. The statement is already up here. So what link we're talking about here, you can see the symbol down here is the US30. That is here. And then you have the balance in here. You have the equity and the floating profit, which is currently positive, closed profit more than $4,000. So all these things are in here. Monthly returns is basically, again, a calculated one. And so is the total return, 43%, weekly returns 2%. So all these things are in here. Now, we have to mention that this particular one, we did a video on strange phenomena, and that actually hit the US 31 here. The little loss we had, nothing to do with the profit retriever itself. It was actually down to broker issues at the time. So that created this particular issue, and you have seen ever since that was there, it has gone up, 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 and again, it's looking quite good. But when you enter these individual signals, you can go to equity and you can have a closer look at it. The equity here looks pretty good. I'm not exactly sure this one is the right one to show the equity because sometimes FXBlue is not really good at this, but it seems to indicate the positive one here, which is better than the balance because of the floating profit in plus. But let's go and have a look at just the stats itself, where you can find them, where basically you can take similar to information of what we have. Again, 118 days for the signal, 8.9%. You hit the month here, and then you can see the numbers that we put in, 1200, 92, 150, which was very low here for February, and then 1700. And that is the same for the rest of the accounts that we have in here. So I'm not going to go through all of them like this. The second one we have in here, the graph looks a lot better. This is the US Swiss francs and link 36C. Again, good profits, monthly returns 8.6, which some will say is underperforming. If we look at the equity curve on this, it is here. We had some terrible beginnings in here where it went down to pretty much roughly 5,300. So, and it was most probably at the same, so 50% drawdown. Since then it's been doing quite well. It had a small little hiccup, and since then it's doing not too bad. It's in a small floating loss at the moment, but overall not too bad at all. So the graph looks nice and straight. We have another one here that we had to adjust a few times. Again, this was a little broker issue. Otherwise, it's climbing up. Then we had to change again some of the settings in here, and then it did quite well. Adjust them again, and now it's just taking off. Monthly returns, as you can see, FXBlue is actually calculating that to 7.7%. This is the Euro New Zealand and link 56C. And it's still doing quite well. It's almost doubled over the time. Let's go and have a look at the equity for this particular one. And it doesn't seem like it's from here. There should have been a drawdown, so I don't believe that is fully working. but it certainly has been a fairly good result. Let's have a quick look just at the monthly returns. Yeah, you can see 300, 900, 600, 1600, 300, 800, and then we made some adjustments again, and that has really taken off. 1000, 1900, and already this month in April 191. So it looks to be doing extremely well. If we have a look at the next one, then this is link 99C. It's the Aussie USD. Also here you can see it came into a rough start. Again, we are not really interested in that anymore. We're interested in the last parts, and basically you can see in February it has been going quite well. Overall monthly returns at the moment 11.7%. Also here a small floating profit, but nothing much, and that's why it actually stays on the list here. Also it's been doing quite well. If we have a look at the equity for that particular one, you can see that's a bit choppy, especially in the beginning. We had some issues with it. Since then we had a drawdown, but it's not a major drawdown. It basically holds somewhere within the 1000, so that is great. So happy with that one too. And if we have a look at the next one, that is a really smooth equity curve, isn't it? Really good one. Again, it might not be one of the ones that people are actually noticing. It's the one we have done some videos on, links 54C and EURJPY in here. Monthly return 7.5%. But this is exactly the type of graph that you want to see. Let's have a look at the equity in here. And wow, yeah, that's a good one. Had a small little one here in the beginning, so actually a big one. And after that, it has been behaving quite well and running only very small and minor minute. And actually in here, when you have the coupling service, things like this, then there's a good chance that you can actually put a factor 2 in there instead, because you are below 1000 all the time. You could also see here, let's just go back, history 359 days, so it's really been going for a long time. And then net profits, you can see it's cashing in every single month, and we have made some changes, and now it's really cashing in quite nicely. For April, $5 so far, not much, but hopefully it'll come good. You can see that it's been doing extremely well overall here, so very good results for this particular one too. Link 37C, another one which is a nice and smooth equity curve. New Zealand USD, monthly returns 10.5% on average, weekly returns 2.7%. Also in a small floating profit, but this is a profit retriever. It doesn't go the right way all the time. Equity curve, again, very, very nice. It is pretty much on par all the way through. You can see there's only a few hundreds. This is the biggest one. And at the time we had small little drawdown, and floating profits was 11.9. So again, it has been sticking pretty much within the 1000 band all the time. And also here, if we go and have a look at 233 days, again, very long time, and cashing in month after month, as you can see here, more than 1000, more than 1000. Last month was a bit less, 487, but it's already done 105. So another great signal in here. And another graph that looks pretty much pitch perfect again is the British Pounds USD. Just going up, up and up. 12.4%, 2.8% weekly returns. Let's have a look at the equity curve in here. Also here again, came in the wrong way. Woo, it went down, but this is a long time ago. We're talking about back in April, May, so 2022. Since then, we have adjusted them. You have to remember that this is also where we started to know profit retriever. And then it's been doing quite well. It's in a small floating profit at the moment, but nothing major again. So also here, extremely good. And you can see most of these stats. That's what you want to see. You want to see that it's actually cashing in, not just 1 month with $2,000 or $3,000 and then does nothing. Here you can see it's done more than 1,000 all the way through, and then in December and January, just below. And once again, it's now catching up in February and March. It's doing quite well. And because it's in a small drawdown, I guess that's why it hasn't done anything for April yet, but for sure it will do that in the future. The last one we have in here is another beautiful one. Also, again, So this is link 100C. This is also British pounds USD. You have to remember that we are sometimes trading some of the same currencies, but in a different way. We are trying to figure out which ones is the best. Sometimes it happens that we are using a smaller lot size, smaller grid size, and then actually getting more out of that. Other times we're using a bigger lot size and then also opening up the gap and trying to see which are the best ways to work. There's a lot of different strategies you can put into the profit retriever, and that is why you will see that some of these are actually repeating, but it's not at all the same signal. So they are doing a lot of different things. Monthly returns, again, 12.1%, and this is exactly where we want to be, where we think it is safe, and that's also why, again, we are on that particular list of only a very few. Weekly returns 2.8, and let's have a look at the equity curve itself again here. Also, it's a bit more on the bumpy ride, so we can see that still keeps within a couple of thousand maybe. And also here, done quite well, and then it has a small one at the moment, floating profit. Well, it's only at minus $74 at the moment, so nothing to be afraid of here either. And if we have a quick look at the stats, just to line everything up, 121 days. So fairly new signal from our side. That, again, we say we are playing around with different settings. You can see how well it's been doing, 2,000, 1,500, 1,200, 1,180. And obviously now it's just starting April. So let's see where that's going to take us at the end of the day. So there you have it. 8 signals producing an average of over $10,000, and that is just over the last 3 months. Obviously, there's a lot more to come, but that is one sure way of sitting on the beach and letting somebody else trade. In this particular case, it is our signals, and you don't necessarily have to take ours, but you can apply some of the same things that you find in this particular video here and go through them, and that's the way actually to find some good and decent signals. Again, I have to advise you that this is not investment or trading advice. This is simply how we find the best way of finding good stable settings. Yes, they might not produce the 40-50% that you want, but you can actually make them into doing that, because if you have somebody who has low drawdown, and you could see that most of these 8 signals do have it, when you do the copy link service itself, you can actually put the lot factor instead of 1-to-1. You can actually go up and do that 2-to-1, and that means that you are basically increasing your results 100%. And you can even go further if you want to do that, and you can use a $20,000 account, $30,000 account, and simply boost it up in that particular way. So you're ending up with a profit that could be 2, 3, or 4 times as high as what we have on ours. And that is what people seems to forget sometimes, because they are looking only at the profit themselves, and then they look at the drawdown and go, holy crap, okay, we're going to take the chance of trying to get 30%, but we also have a chance of blowing the account, because some of the drawdowns of these accounts are 12, 14,000, as you can see in here. It can happen, it will happen over time, as the Forex market is always in change. So in that particular way, you can have a look at the lower producing and very slow producing profits, and then you can basically just double them up if that is what you want. We are quite happy with the level that we have, because again, we also have to trade it like it's a $10,000 account. That's what we have to do, because otherwise the copy link traders will be very confused if we start using increasing lot size all the time, and new people will then also have a big shock and blow their accounts if they go straight on to 1-to-1. So as always, I also have to remind you that the best way to get started with the copy link service is start copying some of the signals that you find works for you and your risk management, and you put them on there for a couple of weeks, a month, whatever you are comfortable with, before you start trading with real money. But I hope I've given you a bit of insights as to how you could actually analyze the individual results that are here. We do hope that Alex is going to consider putting the other Excel back on again, because I think it takes a bit of the pressure off, especially also some of the traders that wants to make sure that their copy links are being used, because we do get a bit of money out of it. It's actually not much compared to PAM accounts and things like this. but it certainly helps trying to get some of the equipment that we use, VPSs and other data that we use to try and produce the best numbers for you on the CopyLink service itself. So I hope that you enjoyed the video, and please, if you have any comments, just leave them in the video description below. We would love to hear from you if this is absolutely news to you, or if you are already doing that to find your own signals. So I hope to see you on one of my future videos. Bye-bye.